morning.
Morning of January 28th, 1995.
Is that your new fur coat?
I think so. And we're here at Seth Geller's bar mitzvah, Irving and Lillian.
So, Pop, what's new?
Say something. What's new?
What is new?
Hey, Ma. You having a good time?
Yeah.
Here we are on Sunday, April 28th, 1996. We're on the Skyline Drive in Shenandoah National Park. Quite beautiful. We're only about 1,500 feet up. It goes to, what did I say, 4,049 feet at one point. Say hi.
Hi, Susan. We got gnats up here, too.
Oh, yeah?
This is the Shenandoah Valley, and this is where, during the Civil War, the armies marched up and down, across.
Who won that war?
The North. 4 years ago.
Okay. It's backlit, is that right?
Okay.
Marty's right. They do have a lot of gnats here. We used to say this is the Pocono salute, but now we'll have to say this is the Shenandoah salute.
What's the temperature out?
Almost 70, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
We don't have no air conditioning, but we're enjoying our sunroof on our car.
That's right.
And luckily the weather is beautiful.
Today is a gorgeous day. Just take one.
This is our sunroof, which we're enjoying.
Oof.
Jefferson trees. Now Jefferson, as you can see, was very influenced by classical, neoclassical architectural styles, especially those of a 16th century Italian architect, Andrea Palladio. And here, to conceal the outbuildings so that they would not interfere with the view, Jefferson would use another of Palladio's ideas. He built those outbuildings into the sides of the hill on the north and south side of the house, and then covered them with terraces as a place for his guests to walk. So if you would like to visit the downstairs part of the house, when we're finished talking, just take the stairs here, walk behind the brick pavilion. You'll be able to see the areas beneath the north terrace.
Quite a lovely, impressive place, Monticello. This is one view of the house. Don't ask me which exposure it is. At the moment, I don't know. Deck, huh? We really Marty planned it perfectly. He decided that spring would be a good time, and of course spring comes earlier in Virginia. So we're here just at the perfect time. The tulips are still in bloom, the lilacs are in bloom, the azalea is in bloom. There's some kind of gorgeous purple tree along the highways. These are peonies, which we're too early for, unfortunately. But just take a look. Is that gorgeous? And there's a familiar sight. Are you enjoying yourself? Here's another view from the garden, the part of the garden area. He was an inventor, an architect, an art collector, an author. His library was amazing.
And it's, I believe, 14 feet high. It's a really massive stone wall holding up this garden. It's an excellent place to put your kitchen garden. It's a southern exposure. Couple that with the height of the mountain, which I mentioned earlier, 867 feet. You would be able to start his planting very early in the spring and then harvest late into the fall because by virtue of that warm air that's pushed up. Sometimes he would put his peas in the ground. Peas were a great favorite in the early spring, in early April, and he'd have them on the table by the middle of May. The garden is divided into 24 squares. Not necessarily its geometric shape, it's just a synonym for plot. The two long narrow borders, the one here against the hillside, the northwest border, and the one
Are the pergolas for grapes or wisteria or anything, or just decoration?
Beans, climbing
Oh,
beans.
I missed it. Sorry.
shade.
And then becomes shade.
So there are beans planted there.
They're not good eating beans.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet runner bean and the purple hyacinth bean is what is planted.
Such a famous spot. Every time you look at a history book.
Mm-hmm. And gardening books too.
Yeah.
Landscape design. There's always
Yeah.
a picture of TJ's Monticello.
You're saying that wall.
This is the wall and the
Retain
submural
the heat.
bed. His tree, his fruit orchard, the fruit trees. Fruit trees were very, very important to people of his time. They provided, as he said, the precious refreshment. And he had a fine collection by anybody's standards. Peaches, of course, were a great favorite of his, and they do very well in this area. He had some 38 different varieties. Apples, also another favorite. There were plant seedlings that he was interested in studying, or other things that required a little extra protection from whatever.
Miss, what's that growing there?
Under the teepee thing?
Yeah.
That's hops for brewing beer.
Ah.
Mrs. Jefferson was a fine brewmaster.
Oh, yeah.
Another precious refreshment of the day. This bed right here is a really warm spot, so the herbs like the sage and the thyme and the lavenders did very well there.
What use is made of the garden today? I mean,
Oh,
what's it,
well-
who gets the produce?
Maggie here, the head gardener, is regularly harvesting the vegetables, and if it is not used for seed preservation to start next year's crop, or for sale down at the plant shop down at the parking lot, it is taken to a designated spot where those of us who work here, if we are extremely quick and agile, help ourselves. And if that fails, if there's still even more, it's taken to a food bank. I don't think that happens often.
When does the last crop, whatever you grow here, stop growing?
There is a peach that is just ripe at the end of October.
So that's it.
No, actually, you can, if December successful, for a variety of reasons, probably the fact that the root stock coming from Europe probably arrived almost dead.
Right.
Or it was poorly planted, or it was not able to withstand the indigenous pests, the microbes in the soil, whatever. But certainly would have a little bit of a few clusters to put on the table
They're
for
still
fruit.
growing great. Yes.
5 years ago. Pretty soon, a couple more years. Make wine, gift shop, restrooms on the lower far side. The fence is a replica had built to enclose his entire vegetable garden and the orchard. It ran for, I believe, 3/4 of a mile. He designed it so it'd be very economical of materials. One nail would hold 2 palings evening after.
And what are those? Is that cane?
The things that are lying down, that's
Yeah.
the canes from the figs.
Oh,
The
canes from
cold,
figs, I
the
see.
cold this winter kills them back to the ground sometimes.
Oh, so you lost the crop this year.
No, they'll come back. They'll
I
come
see.
back. It's dead wood anyway.
Yeah.
No.
This is the entrance to the cemetery that Thomas Jefferson is buried at. In a very pretty gate. A very pretty cemetery. Very pretty grounds. We really lucked out with the day. It just turned out to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day.
Want me to read what it says?
Mm-hmm.
Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of American Independence, of the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia. No mention of the fact that he was President of the United States.
Hmm. That's unusual. You shooting?
This is in the Governor's Palace. These are the formal gardens.
We're at Williamsburg, Virginia, Colonial Williamsburg. And it-
Governor's Palace from the back. Somewhere in here there's birds. I think you could hear them.
a meadow. In back of the Whit House.
Where Thomas Jefferson went to study
Law.
law. What is a dovecote?
Well, it originally came from England. When we were there visiting Uncle Norman, we saw a dovecote several times. It's housing for doves.
I see.
Look at that comb of yours. And he likes to pose, too. Whoa! Whoa!
Store them there if you wanted to. The fact that if I go in January and want turnips, it's somebody's root cellar turnips that some farmer has put up in dozens of bushel basket, precipitates in what you asked a minute ago. We don't
18th
get fresh
century
foods today
rotisserie.
in the 20th century, unless you get your own, out of your own. But it doesn't give you the same kind of punch and zip that does that fresh stuff.
Was there any ice storage at all?
Um,
It was done back then. But
Yeah, but we're not dependent on it. Yeah, that's what you and I have become. It's really in World War I at the turn of the century, and they start then going to this, Westinghouse refrigerated car that this.
I had to help. Can you tell me which issue you think these might be in?
They're going to be doing a series.
Had an apple.
Look at his tail got cropped off. See, straight cropped. See?
These are the slave quarters at Carter's Grove. Little outside garden. Think about all this.
It's very well done.
Good.
Today is Friday,
May 3rd,
May 3rd.
1996.
And it's gorgeous tomorrow. Another gorgeous day.
It's a shell to the walk.
Hear that?
It's a nice, fine job.
Carter's Grove Mansion.
Carter's Grove reflects the craftsmanship and taste of 18th century Virginians, as well as the wealth and social standing.
Late for the dogwoods, but this one is still in beautiful.
A couple of scenes inside Carter's Grove. I really truly do like this house. It has a very long history, but was most recently renovated in, I'm going to change the, in the late 20s, and I'm sure throughout the 30s and 40s, the McRae family, Molly McRae. Anyway, she did a lovely job. It's very beautiful. It's very tranquil. It has all the modern conveniences, beautiful bathrooms. We're focusing in on the morning. I don't know who that person is. It's the morning porch. Say it again.
What a nice little comfy room.
Marty likes this house too. We both like this house.
When they have real wood paneling and soft lighting. I like rooms that are dark. Good TV watching and book reading rooms.
I'm going to try to zoom in on that hallway again. Is that us in the mirror in the hallway? I think it is. That'll be a good shot.
But they didn't know the climate control that we know today, so therefore they didn't really know anything else than living with the breezes and fans. Also, if you're crazy, you're one of their guests here in the summertime, there's a housekeeper who's cleaning everything and running your bath water and doing whatever. The cook is doing all the cooking, the butler could bring you drinks. So on the hottest days, you could probably sit in here and sip a mint julep and not worry too much about the heat. But if you've never been to Virginia in the summertime, it's kind of like stepping into a steam bath in July and August. We have the 3 H's, as we like to refer to them: hot, hazy, and humid.
Oh, we have that in New York too.
Here, and they're a fairly old breed of tree. They came from China 1,000 years ago. They've been there for 1,000 years, and they've been here since about the 1790s. And they're about the only thing that feels like blooming in the heat of the summer. The magnolias bloom in June, and we have most of our flowers in April and May. So thank heavens for the crepe myrtles, that we probably wouldn't have them.
Or I'll zoom in. That's the James River. These are the gardens at Carter's Grove. There's going to be some sort of event here tonight, as there was at the Abbey Aldrich Rockefeller Museum yesterday. They have a lot of these events, and I'll show you the tent. Here's the tent that the event of tonight's festivities is going to be held in. And they're lovely, lovely tents, and we saw them furnishing them and doing the catering, etc., etc. I wouldn't mind living in Virginia if I were in society and were invited to these affairs. This is actually the front of Carter's Grove Mansion. This is how you would have approached it if you would come from the James River. Very, very beautiful. We've just checked in to the Marriott Waterside Hotel, one of those tall city hotels, deep in the heart of downtown.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia. I thought I said that. Oh, Marriott Waterside, I said, right. And this is our view. They didn't have a full water view, which is on the other side of the hotel. But this is a pretty nice view. Shows you downtown Norfolk, which seems to be pretty big, pretty prosperous, and pretty bustling. Now, I will say that we've been staying in small little motels, so to check into this one was quite a difference. This is like a big city hotel. What are you doing?
I'm gonna fix my glasses, but I don't know which screw to put in.
What happened to your glasses?
One of the frames fell off.
Where were we when that happened?
We were in Carter's Grove. Go figure it.
And who found it for you?
Oh, my wife. God, I don't know what I'd do without her.
And what else has she done this trip?
She navigated us with great perfection and ease. But I planned the trip.
We're at Waterside in Norfolk. This is the South Street Seaport area. And we asked for an outdoor table to catch the sunset. And we really lucked out because we're going to have a lovely sunset. And we have a beautiful table. And soon you'll see somebody you recognize. There he is.
Sunset in Norfolk, Virginia. That's good.
Look, there's the paddle wheel up there.
That's where we ate tonight. It's the view from a pier. A lot of luxury boats out in the water. And that's the Marriott Hotel where we're staying. In the dark though. This, believe it or not, is a full moon.
And it's not a thing that we do it this year and not the years to come. And it has to be.
Once that paint starts in the back, the smell of the food will come out into this tank here. So if you make a little hole for me, and we're going to be feeding this.
Blue and yellow.
And we also have little pieces of shrimp. You can smell it, it's coming from right here. It kind of stinks, but as you can see, they're swimming around a lot. And stingrays get really excited when we feed
the speaker, please.
There. I've got a sonar buoy on top of that sub.
Good job. Take them out, Commander. Gunboats closing fire, 5-inch guns. Status of incoming missiles.
100 miles out, closing at Mach 2, sir.
Take it with birds.
Birds away, sir.
Very well. On that scud launch
Affirmative,
site.
Captain, and is in range.
Deploy 2 Tomahawks.
Preparing attack plan now, sir.
Very well.
Captain, USS Philippine Sea reports engaging and sinking 2 enemy gunboats on those.